In this video, I will cover the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General, the watchdog of our nation's largest federal executive department. I'm Nicholas, and this is the Law Enforcement Agency Information Channel. The Department of Defense Office of Inspector General, or DoD OIG for short, is a civilian-staffed investigative United States federal law enforcement agency that falls under the Department of Defense, or DoD for short. The Department of Defense Office of Inspector General is responsible for investigating fraud, waste, misconduct, and corruption within the Department of Defense. This includes anything associated with the Department of Defense or any of its agencies, such as employees, operations, funded programs, accredited programs, and much more. The Department of Defense, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is our nation's largest federal executive department with over 3 million employees. They also have the most federal law enforcement agencies out of all federal executive departments, with approximately 30 agencies. While the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General is not a commonly known or referred to agency, its child agency, the Defense Criminal Investigative Service, is. And I'll get into that agency later in the video. But yeah, that's really it for their core responsibilities. I'm gonna list out some examples of hypothetical examples of what the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General would investigate. Sorry, I'm just trying to recall them because I made the examples a while ago, so I'm just trying to remember. Example one, a member of the U.S. Army in Military Intelligence Command or Corps, is caught leaking info to a civilian for a bribe. So that's example number one. Now I will go on to example number two. Example number two would be someone within the CEO of a company that is funded by the DoD is caught embezzling DoD funds. So that's example number two. Now we'll go on to example number three. Example number three, a correctional facility managed by the U.S. Army Corrections Command is reported to be abusing its inmates. So that's example number three. Now I will go on to the last one, example number four. Example number four, a member of the Navy is caught killing another member of the Navy. Additionally, the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General is also responsible for protecting the Secretary of Defense and the Department of Defense's Inspector General. However, they only assign like a few agents to do that. Just like most federal law enforcement officers, Department of Defense, Office of Inspector General, special agents have authority to carry firearms and make arrests. I think it is especially important that they are capable of carrying firearms, since the majority of people who they investigate on a day-to-day basis are armed members of the military, armed and experienced members of the military. The Department of Defense Office of Inspector General has domestic-wide jurisdiction throughout the United States and its territories to investigate fraud, waste, misconduct, and corruption within the Department of Defense or any of its agencies. The Department of Defense Office of Inspector General reports to the Secretary of Defense, or SecDef for short, who reports to the President of the United States, or POTUS for short. The Department of Defense Office of Inspector General is broken down into divisions, in which there is number one, the Defense Criminal Investigative Service, or DCIS for short. They conduct criminal investigations into reports of alleged corruption within the Department of Defense, and including its agencies. The Defense Criminal Investigative Service is the largest division of the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General, with approximately 500 active special agents and employees. In fact, speaking of which, they are, because of the Defense Criminal Investigative Service, its parent agency, the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General, is considered one of the largest federal inspector general agencies in the U.S. The Defense Criminal Investigative Service is really at the core of the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General's mission and investigative and law enforcement responsibilities, as they conduct, like I said, the majority of their investigative and law enforcement responsibilities. The Defense Criminal Investigative Service is the only division of the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General that the Department of Defense Inspector General explicitly gives law enforcement authority to. Anyways, added on top of that, there is number two, the Administrative Investigations Division. So the Administrative Investigations, or AI for short, conducts investigations into reports of corruption among high-ranking DoD officials. So what I mean by high-ranking DoD officials is, and again, it's actually not just high-ranking DoD officials. It's really anyone who has worked within the Department of Defense for a long period of time. But yeah, those senior DoD officials are typically high-ranking DoD officials. But anyways, added on top of the Administrative Investigations Division, there is number three, the Audit Division. They conduct audits into and for the Department of Defense, including its agencies, programs, and its agencies and programs. And then added on top of that, there is number four, the Evaluations Division. They evaluate DoD programs and agencies to ensure they are really following DoD guidelines and are working effectively. Added on top of that, there is number five, the overseas continuity operations. They conduct, they oversee DoD OIG operations overseas, they oversee foreign law enforcement and investigative operations. So in other words, they oversee operations by the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General that are overseas. They also provide support to overseas or foreign operations by the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General. Added on top of that, there is the last one, number six, the Mission Support Team. They provide administrative and non-administrative support services to DoD OIG operations. and divisions. And at the direct order of the Department of Defense's Inspector General. The general rank structure of the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General is in the following order: Inspector General, Principal Deputy Inspector General, Deputy Inspector General, Assistant Inspector General, Deputy Assistant Inspector General, and lastly, entry-level employee. The Department of Defense Office of Inspector General trains its special agents for approximately 10 to 15 weeks. There are two sections of their training. The first section is known as the Criminal Investigators Training Program. The Criminal Investigators Training Program is a general program led by the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center that the majority of 1811s go through. And since Department of Defense Office of Inspector General's special agents are considered 1811s, they go through those courses. But anyways, the course for the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General, they train for approximately 12 weeks at the Criminal Investigators Training Program, which is a shorter duration of time compared to the duration of time that other federal law enforcement agencies train at that program. Like I said, it's located at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Glencoe, Georgia, and takes approximately 12 weeks. Aside from that, that's Section 1. Now we'll go on to Section 2. So Section 2, the last section, is known as the agency. It is an agency-specific training program. The agency-specific training program is basically a group of training courses that is led by the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General at their headquarters in Alexandria, Virginia. Their courses are really random. There's not really a way to tell, because unlike the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, which is much more broad, it's easier to find out, you really have to be an agent in order to know what it's like to go through Program 2. But yeah, that's pretty much it for their training. The FBI and the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General's jurisdiction often overlaps when it comes to things like investigating national security-related leaks within the Department of Defense. Because of this, the FBI and the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General, specifically its Defense Criminal Investigative Service division, often works with each other in criminal investigations. The Department of Defense is home to some of our nation's most important and sensitive intel. If that intel was leaked, there'd be serious national security related problems. The Department of Defense Office of Inspector General prevents those kind of problems from happening.